שעלמא דברי חיותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך ובבניך וחיי כל בית ישראל בעולם הבא ובזמן גלי תמלו אמן יהי שמירה במבורך לעם ולמלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר בכל מינותיהם ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושמחתה ונעמתה צדיקים בעמה תמלו אמן.
You may be seated. It is traditional that the Torah is passed down from one generation to another. We believe that at Sinai, the Jewish people received the Torah. The Torah was not given to them, they received it. Why is that? If you were given something, if I was to give a present to Sima or something to Sima, that would be just for her. But if she receives something from me, that is something that can be passed on. If the Torah had been given to the children of Israel at Sinai, it would have been just for that generation. But as we know from Pirkei Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, the Torah is passed down from Moses onward. And we are going to symbolically pass down that Torah in a moment in the Torah passing ceremony as the cantor chants, L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. I'd like to call up at this time Anna and Pavel Galaganov, Barton, Edward Bernstein, Ilana Pomerantz, Misha and Talia, and of course Sima. I would ask everyone to please rise.
One more time. One more. L'dor v'dor, l'dor v'dor, l'dor v'dor, nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nagdish. L'dor v'dor, l'dor v'dor, l'dor v'dor, nagid God lecha, ulenetzach קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול, כי אל מלך גדול, וקדוש אתה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד לך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש.
As soon as the Torah is put back in the ark, you may be seated. May the family continue to be able to pass down the Torah from generations to future generations, and we wish you that the Torah should be in your heart and in your souls and in your daily lives. We are now going to take out the Torah for the Torah service. I'd like to call up at this time, and you will excuse me if I get any names wrong, Chanita and Rama Kozovsky and Rona Solberg and Berna Haberman to open and close the Torah, and Misha to carry the Torah as we all rise, and it can be found on page 65 in the Synagogue Siddur and page 187 in the Shereth.
ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה, קומה אדוני, ויפוצו אויביך, וינוסו משנאיך מפניך, כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורתו, ברוך שנתן תורתו לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. גדלו אדוני איתי, ולרוממה שהם יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל ראש. רוממו, רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, והשתחוו, לאדום רגליו קדוש. kodsho lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romenu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho Romenu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho Oseh shalom bimromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Imru amen Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Oseh shalom bimromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
You may be seated, and to all those who I said Shabbat Shalom to out of habit, I do realize it's Thursday after someone told me it's not Shabbat. Old habits die hard here. We are going to go to, you're going to see a few things, including speeches, our Dvar Torah, certain blessings which will happen throughout. We begin the Torah reading, though, which is Parshat Balak, which can be found on page 303 in our Siddur, and I do not know if it is in. It is somewhere. Excuse me? Bingo. Page 345 in the Sheriff Siddur. Thank you, Abby. He also told me it wasn't Shabbat, so some extra mitzvah points this morning.
Either way, it's fine by me.
The Kohen Aliyah is given to Marie Cohen. No, actually, I'm receiving it. We're not giving it. You can have it. I can have it. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Voed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bochar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'notan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayera Balak ben Tzipor et Kol asher asa Yisrael Elohim Vayagomoh mivnei ha'am me'od ki hafu Vayakot Moab mivnei bnei Yisrael Navos El Ziknei Midian Ahata Yalachachu Akahu Ekol Sivotehu Shilacho Hashem Et Yakasadet Uvalach Ben Tipol Melech Nemo'al Ba'ed Ha'im
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Notan Lanu Torah Emet V'Chaye Olam Nata B'Tocheinu Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah. Amen.
Yamdu Zevin Tzvi Levi Davi Ben Zeva Levi Libasar Bat Zeva Levi V'Batya Le'Aliyah Levi.
Levi Aliyah is given to Wolf Haberman. Thank you. And some other folks.
One second, let's get the names correct. We got the Hebrew names. Let's get, we have Wolf Haberman, David Haberman, and Lynn Branscombe.
Good job. Amen. Vayishlach malachim el Bil'am ben Be'or Hetoha Asher ala nahal el et bnei Amo likolo lemor Hinei am yatzah mimitzrayim Hinei chisam et ein ha'aretz Vehu yoshev muhi betah Lachanar hihi and hazeh yatzumhu mimnenim uv'lahayuchu nakevohu v'gashenu min ha'aretz yadati ehed asher tavachach memohav v'asher ta'ohu yu'ahav v'yachuhu ziknei mo'av v'ziknei midyan uksamim be'halatam v'yavu'u el bil'aham v'yadabru elav divrei balaam
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah V'Chaye Olam Nata B'Tocheinu Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah. Amen.
מבשר בת זבע לוי ובתיה שאלו הם בכל מקום לגבור התורה בזכור זה הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור אותם ומשמורתם וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם עם כל ישריהם ונאמר אמן. I'd like to invite up this time Misha, Talia, Yair, and Chaya to say a Shechianu before we call Sima to the Torah.
Giving your names like this painful.
First of all, we want to welcome you on this very joyous occasion. And as we say, Rosh Hashanah, only in good things we should be able to meet all the Sima and Mat Mitzvah. be up here watching these calls from the Torah. Shechianu, thanking God for allowing us to reach this joyous occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'tiyamanu v'hidyanu b'zman hazeh. Beloved are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has granted us life and allowed us to reach this joyous occasion. Mazal tov.
Tamod, Tamod, Tamod. Amachura bat hamitzvah, Sima adira bat Michael v'Taya, Naya hashlishi. Baruch et Adonai Hamocha. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Vayomer Aleichem Hihinu Kol halayla Vashivoti Enchem Zevahot Kasher Yedaber Adonai Elai Vayeshvu Sorei Mo'avim Mil'am Vayivo Elohim El Mil'am Vayomer Mihi Hanashiv Ha'elaim Ha'ho Vayomer Mil'am El Elohim Pensipo Melech Mo'av Shalach Alai Ibnei Ha'am Hayotzehem Mitzrayim Vayachas et Ein Ha'aretz Ki Atav Lecha Kabali Oto Ulai Yuchal Leilachem Po V'Kirashtim Vayomer Elohim El Bil'am Lo Tilech Imahem Lo ta'ol et ha'am ki v'hu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nacheh b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Yisheberach Havotev Mitzvah Kol Sarkro Chavleah Uyivarach et Simadira Bat Michael V'Talia Shegiel Mitzvot V'Tal Likvod Makom Likvod Torah Likvod Habat Mitzvah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yismereh V'Yechiyah V'Ychoneh V'Bal Liot Shlema Im Adonai Elohea V'Agol B'Torah Lecha B'Drachav U'Lishmor Mitzvotav V'Shach B'Chav V'Tachav B'Chol Ma'aseh Yedea Yuratzon Shizkureh L'Gadol L'Torah L'Chupah L'Masim Tovim V'Timtzachel V'Sechuto B'Nei Elohim V'Adam Amen. May God who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, bless Sima Adira Bat Michael V'Talia, who has been called to the Torah upon reaching the age of mitzvah with reverence of God and the Torah. May the Holy One protect and sustain her, helping her to wholeheartedly in her faith to study Torah and fulfill mitzvot and to walk in God's ways. May her parents rear her to maturity, guiding her to a love of Torah, to the chuppah, and to a life of good deeds. May she find favor before God and the community, and let us say, Amen. We are going to sing a little later as well as continue a little later. I'll let you know when that is. We are going to say first a Yisrael for all those who are ill. If you know of someone, this would be the proper time. If you think of them, we pray for all those who have no one to pray for them. We will do the Kaddish and the Ahavath Sholom in 1 second. Yisrael, Baruchenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Tzar, Tzorachel, V'leah. We will represent all Barim, Ba'avur, Shekol, Shirah, Yisrael, Yisrael, Ba'avur. The stars in the Kaddish for a foot in the air, Rahim, Alayhem, Rafitam, Rafitam. The Tzachar rule for Shemar, and for Isaac, and for the fruit, Toshal for Yisrael, Ashelam, Barim, and Amar, Amen. And he blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, and Rachel, and bring blessing and healing to all those who are suffering. May God offer them help of mind, help of body, help of soul, help of spirit, along with all others who are in need of blessings, and let us say, Amen. Please rise. We invite Natasha and Adit Kobal for the lifting and the binding of the sacred Torah. In a moment, Sima has prepared a Devar Torah because it's not only about reading the Torah, but it's also about explaining the Torah, and thereby she becomes one of our commentators for today. You may be seated. The candy throwing will be after I bless her a little later. But she is now going to give her words of Torah and her thanks to many who are here today.
Rabbi Bloom, Cantor Kaikov, Dr. Fagan, family, and friends. Good morning. My parsha is Balak, and in the parsha, the king, Balak, orders Bilam, a magician, to get rid of the Israelites. It is not clear why Balak sends Bilam specifically, but maybe Bilam was the only magician in Moab, the place where this parsha is set. Bilam goes on God's order to carry out Balak's request. Bilam rides his donkey on his way to go and curse the Jews. On the way, an angel gets in Balaam and his donkey's way, and when the donkey turns away to avoid the angel, Balaam beats her, as he cannot see God's angel. Balaam finally sees the angel when God uncovers his eyes, and Balaam apologizes to God, saying, "I didn't know there was an angel." When Balaam finally gets to the tents of Jacob, instead of cursing the Jews, he blesses them. The two things I found most interesting are the fact that Balaam didn't go until he got an order from God first. God tells him to say to Balak that, "I will only say what God commands me to say." In the end, God tells him to bless the Israelites with the words, "How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel." I think it is interesting that Balaam would only go if God agreed. I wonder if he believed in the same God or a different one from the Israelites. I also found it interesting that God purposely made it so that the donkey could see the angel, but Balaam couldn't, and then got mad when Balaam hit the donkey. It seems God was trying to test Balaam, but why? The topic I found most interesting in my parsha was the part about the donkey getting beaten by Balaam. God was mad when Balaam hit the donkey and defended the donkey. Later, God opens the donkey's mouth and lets the donkey defend herself. Do you hit a person when they are walking in front of you and they suddenly stop? No, true. A person is not an animal, but both feel, taste, touch, smell, hear, eat, and sleep. What's more is that the donkey was caring for Balaam, and Balaam didn't treat her well. In the Torah, there's another parsha where its main discussion is how to care and treat for animals. For example, if an animal works in the field, then you are not allowed to muzzle it, so it should be able to eat some of what it works for. In the parsha, it seems, God is testing Balaam. It makes me wonder if Balaam has treated animals harshly before, and why God has chosen to teach Balaam this lesson now. In Bereshit Rabbah, we read that Balaam beat the donkey out of anger. I believe that yes, he was angry, but also annoyed and confused, for the donkey had never acted in this manner before. We can assume this, since it appears until now that the donkey was always good. It would be strange for the donkey to start acting bad all of a sudden, and Balaam should have realized this. Balaam, I think, noticed that his donkey was misbehaving, so no matter what, he was going to punish it. As I said before, one theory is that he hit the donkey out of anger. He might have anger issues and needs a therapist. But to be honest, after smashing the 10 Commandments, Moses would be using one too. Or Balaam was doing that out of pain. To be fair, his leg was being smashed between a wall and a donkey. Most people would probably hit the donkey too, if they were in pain and the donkey was causing it. God might not have been mad at Balaam for hitting the donkey, but for hitting the donkey without thinking first, without hesitation, the thought that maybe, just maybe, the donkey was doing this for a reason. I think this parsha is teaching us to think about why other people might do things, and try to see things from other people's perspectives. As it says in Pirkei Avot 2:5, do not judge your fellows till you stand in their situation. In other words, next time you have an argument, think about how the other person feels and what you did to hurt them. I would like to thank a few people. Rabbi, I would not have been able to write a speech without your help. I would never have been able to do it. Thank you. Thank you, Cantor, for helping me with all the prayers for this day. You are an amazing teacher. You were always very understanding and helpful, and I always left your office feeling happy. Thank you, everyone in the CAS, for donating the Sidul, Sim Shalom, for this day. Thank you for everybody who helped in the kitchen and worked for hours. It was very nice, and it meant a lot to me. I would like to thank my friends from Hebrew school, and other places for coming today. Thank you for all my family who came, and also the ones who didn't come. You will always be special to me. Destiny, you are so cute and funny. I love kicking the ball with you, playing balloon with you, and more. You are very energetic and a very strong for a 3-year-old. I love you. Safta, you are so lovable and nice. You are so caring and a great grandmother. You help me prepare for many things such as plays and spelling bees. Grandma, you are fun, nice, and I love talking to you. You are funny too. Grandpa, you are fun, and I love listening to you play on your harmonica and hearing your stories about you on the Navy. Babushka and Diedushka. Even though you live in Israel, you still feel close to me. Thank you for always checking on us, and I love you. I know someone who is smart, funny, happy, playful, and a great sister. Chaya, you are nice, kind, and more. You are caring, and I love talking to you. I love running around with you, exploring with you, and even being bored with you. Chaya, I am so glad you are my sister. Who would I have sprayed water on the couch with, tried to fly with, pretend to be a princess with, flooded the playroom with, and more? I love you so, so, so much. Yet you, I think you should know, every time I roll my eyes at you or yell at you, I still love you a lot. You are very protective, and I love that about you. You are exciting to be with, and we always have the best time dancing in weird ways in front of the family. You are the best brother I could ever have. Papa, you are a great father. You always make me feel less stressed, and you are so funny. Preparing for this day was very stressing for me, but you were always there to talk to me. Even in Oklahoma, you had time to call me, and we could talk. During school, when I had a particularly hard day, you would sit with me in your office, give me tea, and listen while I tell what happened. Thank you so much. I also love playing with you. The games are so fun, but they are way more fun with you. As I have said many, many times, you are a great father. Thank you, Ima. I cannot imagine a better mother for me than you. You always listen to me, whether it be for hours or for minutes. You are always there for me. And by the way, I sometimes love being sick just so you can take care of me. You do it with so much love. You also find the time to help me with homework, speeches, and more. You are like a super mom. You always try your hardest to make everyone happy. You helped me prepare so much for this day, and you taught me everything I know about Judaism. Thank you. Once again, I want to thank you all for celebrating this Jewish milestone with me.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. I never know what you say. You just blew your big secret of getting out of going to school. We are now, and thank you, you've added a tremendous amount to interpretation. People often say that we cannot add to what a Rashi or any other great commentators have told us in the past, but you have to remember Rashi was once 13 as well. So to add even more from your own perspective is tremendously helpful. We are grateful for you being our teacher this morning. We're now going to turn to page 76 as we return the Torahs to the Ark. We'd like to call up Julie Solberg, Nir Kotovitsky, Sharon Koval, Alexa Chandler, Corey Branscombe, and Sandra Levine to open and close the Ark, and Alon Bernstein Galaganov to carry the Sefer Torah. Please rise. Who's opening the order? Okay. Who's carrying?
Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, ki nifkav shmo levado. Hado al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo. Tehila lechol chasidat, lifnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Se'u she'arim ra'asheichem, u'se'u pitchei olam, ve'yavo melech ha'kavod, mi'uze melech ha'kavod, Adonai tzvaot hu melech ha'kavod, Selah. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Kol anshamat aliyah, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Kol anshama aliyah, hallelu, hallelujah. Kol anshama aliyah, hallelu, hallelujah. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Kol anshama aliyah, hallelu, hallelujah. Kol anshama aliyah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, say shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. De'imeru, amen. Uberucho yomar Yeshua.
Es ha'him him la'ha'hadim bam v'tomchei Me'usham Dera'achirot V'cheinoam V'chol netivotecha Shalom Hashini Leinu
Let me tell you, I am very proud that I did not think it was Shabbat. The only problem was I was wishing people a good New Year. So I'm not sure what is at this point going on. There is a midrash on the non-prophet, Israelite prophet Bilam, which we just read about, who attempted to curse, but in the end blessed the children of Israel. The midrash connected to Bilam relates that the son of the king was a student, and he had two different tutors. The first tutor, who was entrusted to the young prince's education, always cared truly about his welfare, and therefore preceded each lesson with the following words: "My son, ensure that your behavior is correct. Your father, the king, is also the supreme judge of the land, and he will not tolerate in his own son the slightest deviation from the proper path." The afternoon tutor, the second tutor, who secretly despised the young prince, would always tell him before each lesson, "Enjoy yourself. You need not worry about the consequences, for your father, the country's chief justice, can always exempt you from punishment. Which tutor do we want in our lives? One who teaches us the truth, genuinely cares, and helps educate those around them, or someone who only thinks about instant gratification and getting away with things without punishment? The answer is completely in our hands, not only the answer to which tutor do we want in our own and our children's lives, but which tutor we want to be when we are helping others study, when we are mentoring others. When speaking about the choices, I think we can come to some sort of a conclusion, or we can find direction in this question by the blessing that Bilam gave to the Israelites, which Sima mentioned earlier. Matovu olech Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. There are two key words in this verse. They are olecha, tents, and mishkanotecha, dwellings. Now there has to be a reason that the Torah would put both of these words in the same verse. Otherwise, if there wasn't a difference of interpretation, the Torah, which is not long on words, would only have put either the word tents or the word dwellings in. But since it put both of them in, we have to try and understand what both of them mean. If we begin with olecha, as that is the first of the two mentioned, we can understand that a tent is not a permanent dwelling. It is something that goes from place to place. Matter of fact, we could probably describe it as either a sukkah in the desert or a sukkah behind our house during the holiday of Sukkot. It is not a permanent structure, but it is there to keep us warm, to keep us blessed, and to keep us alive. The sixth Lubavitcher Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak was sentenced to death for teaching Torah and opening Jewish schools. When his students came to him all upset that he was to be put to death, he says that one's physical possessions are nothing in this world, they are tents. But Jewish education, teaching Torah, and teaching children, opening synagogues and opening Batei Midrash schools, that is what leads to dwellings. And if you like, then the word Mishkanotecha, dwellings, can also be seen as the land of Israel. Because the land of Israel, and today the state of Israel, is something which is permanent, which has always been in the hearts and the minds and in the prayers of the Israelites and later the Jewish people for thousands of years. As we look towards Jerusalem, should we forget Jerusalem, we know the famous verse of what happens. We should lose the power of our hand. Here, Jerusalem is a dwelling. But not only that, how can we bring about more dwellings to others? We read from the Torah, we mentioned beforehand that the Jewish people received the Torah in the desert. At Revelation, it is believed that all Jewish souls were there. Thereby, the dwellings are the Torah in our hearts, the mitzvot that we perform, and God who is not only around us, but within us as well. So here, the lesson for today is to, yes, appreciate our olecha, our tents, in order to be able to turn them into mishkanotecha, dwellings, to enjoy that which we have in order that we should live comfortable and by that help others, but never lose sight that is what is within us that cannot be taken away. Our beliefs, our God, our Torah is something permanent. Our houses is something which is here one day and gone the next. Let us take that which we learn, turn it to be positive. Let us use our tents to help bring about many dwellings in the future. Seema, come here, please. Has the candy been passed out? No, we're waiting for the cue. Now's my cue. I have no idea. Where's the candy? It's in the back. I now have two good stories for theirs as well. Let them pass it out for a second so I can say a few words to you in a moment. And after I bless her, that is when you can throw the candy, but make sure you throw it that way and not that way. And I say that because we don't want to get hit. But she would like the sweetness of that candy. While they're doing that, Seema, let me tell you that today you have turned the tent of learning for your bat mitzvah into a dwelling in your heart. Watching you progress these past few months has taken the siddur which you pray from and lead us with, and it has turned to something within you. You have turned from a textbook, someone who can open the page, to a text person, to someone who could live the prayers. We're taught in the Shema that, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." And within it, there is the word Ed, which is in witness. We take the last letter of each of the first and last words. You today are a witness to God. You are a witness to the mitzvot within you. You have become not only a student, but a teacher. You will be a leader in the future, and for that, we are thankful. We hope that God will bless you just as you have blessed us, and may God bless you with all that is good and more. Adonai Yishmor Tzeitecha V'Lecha Me'atav Yad Olam. May God guard your coming and your going, now and forevermore. I'd ask everyone to rise as I now get to say the priestly blessing. Okay. Yevarach Adonai Yishmor
Any ratzon.
Ya'el Adonai Yachid Yikunecha.
Any ratzon.
Shalom.
Any
May the
ratzon.
Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his light upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord offer you health, happiness, and peace. And let us say,
Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simen tov, mazel tov, and simen tov. Yeilanu, 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 ulecha Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulecha Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulecha Yisrael. Yeilanu, yeilanu, ulecha Yisrael.
Okay. Candy is over. All right, we're not trading candy. Take the candy down, please, guys. You may be seated. Let's try and eat the candy afterwards, please, not in the sanctuary. I'd now like to call, we'll come up now, Talia and Misha to say a few words.
Sima, my dear sweet little girl, the Talmud and Tractate Sotah specifically obligates parents to teach Torah to their daughters. My mother taught me, and I have done my best to teach you. The first words I ever spoke to you were the blessing from the Shehechianu, and we repeated those words today. Last night at sunset, you reached the age of majority, of responsibility for fulfilling the mitzvot, the obligations of a Jew, and the privilege of doing so. You have been looking forward to this day for many years, not because it meant a party, but because it meant that you could now be a full participant in all aspects of adult Jewish life. In your eagerness, you took the first opportunity to read from and have an aliyah to the Torah on this, your 12th Hebrew birthday. You have taken your responsibilities as a Jew seriously since you were a little girl. I remember allowing you to buy lunch at school one day when they were supposed to have cheese pizza as a special treat. The school called me. You were only 5, and you were hungry. But when you saw that they only had pepperoni, you called me from the office and asked that I bring you food. Even then, you had a strong sense of who you are and what that means in terms of your obligation to God. You also work hard to fulfill your obligations to other people. You are a good friend, an amazing daughter, and the best big sister Chaya and Yael could hope for. For example, when you were 3 years old and Chaya was only 8 months old, sorry Yael, you were not yet around, we took a family trip with Babushka and Dedushka to Colorado, and everyone got pink eye. That was fun. On the way home, Chaya was crying, and you sang to her and told her stories for hours to keep her entertained. By then, I had gotten so used to how you were as a sister that I took such things for granted. I didn't even realize how special this was until Babushka pointed it out. In fact, I often have to remind myself that giving so much takes effort and sacrifice, even for someone so kind and generous. Sima, you first made me a mother, and it is the most meaningful thing I have ever done in my life. Although it is and has been my responsibility to set an example for you, in truth, you often set an example for me. You are always capable of seeing things from others' point of view. You speak gently, and you think before you speak. You fight for justice, standing up to bullies, whether or not you are friends with the person you are protecting. You urge those around you to be better people, and you do it in such a gentle way that they, and I, feel supported rather than reprimanded. In short, you make the world a better place, a true example of one who practices tikkun olam. Up until now, your fulfillment of the mitzvot has been the responsibility of your papa and me, though you have made this job easy. You know that every mitzvah has a beauty and meaning, and one only has to search for it. And while we will continue for the rest of our lives to have the responsibility of setting a good example and guiding you as best we can, ultimately the responsibility for fulfilling the mitzvot is now yours. I am not concerned. This duty is in the best hands. Look around you. So many people have taken time off work, have traveled thousands of miles and over oceans, and have rearranged their summers to spend this day with you. Members of the congregation have spent hours helping to prepare for this day. Why have they done all of this? Because you are important to them. You are also very important to me. I will be eternally grateful for your existence and for the privilege of being your mother, and look forward to watching you grow.
We decided that our speeches will be a surprise for all of us. Okay, so this is the first time I heard Sima's thank you speech and Talia's speech, and this is the first time I will hear my own speech about this. I would like to start with words of gratitude. I'm grateful to my parents for raising me, for educating me, and for leaving Soviet Union at the time when the time was right and dangerous, and for making it possible for me to study and for making me the person I am. I'm thankful to the God for making all of this possible, for having a family, having friends, and having wonderful job, and just being surrounded by this wonderful congregation. I would like to thank Rabbi and the cantor for putting so much effort into preparing Sima for her bat mitzvah ceremony, and also for putting so much effort into this congregation and making this congregation what it is, with such a nice spirit and neshama. I would like to thank synagogue administration and leadership for helping us to prepare this celebration today. I also would like to thank all of our relatives who came either from across the country or across town or across the ocean to celebrate this with us. And I would like to thank all of our friends who are here today. And also I would like to thank all the congregation members who are here today with us to celebrate this. I also would like to thank the volunteers. I know Sima already thanked the volunteers, but this is such a big deal. Thank you for helping to prepare the food, to prepare everything here. This is so touching. I was thinking, traditionally parents speak in front of congregation, and I've been traveling a lot, and I was thinking, what's the purpose of what my speech? Why am I standing in front of all the family, friends, and congregation and speaking? And I think that this event can probably constitute some kind of pledge on the part of a parent of what we're gonna do after this. The parent's responsibility doesn't stop with bat mitzvah celebration or bar mitzvah celebration when the child becomes responsible for his or her own mitzvot. Montaigne, in his essay on education, said that the most difficult job in general is that of educating children. And I feel it. He also said that you shouldn't educate your own children. You should actually hire somebody. And I disregarded his advice when I was started teaching my son Yair on violin, and half of the time I feel like I'm failing miserably. So that's something for me to think about. But this is an important time when a person turns 12. Is a change not only in the status of getting into adulthood in Judaism, but it is a time when person is still formatting and formulating character, personality, and continuing education. In Henry James wrote a short novel, Beast in the Jungle, and he portrayed one person in there who was waiting all his life for, he felt that something was inside him, that for beast to come out. Either something terrible will happen or something wonderful will happen. And basically what happens in there is that nothing happens, that he misses all of what's in front of him. And I would like to teach Sima, and for Sima also to know that you have to take an active part in your life and not to wait for things to happen, but to actively be a person who, you know what you want, what you want to be, and you should dedicate and work hard. You should dedicate your studies to your goal. and do what's necessary to achieve it. There is a part in education. I also would like to mention that you should study Judaism more, but also take example from Rabbi who is educated not only in Judaism but in other philosophies and other religions as justified, and we've seen how our Rabbi meets with leaders of other communities and participates and join conferences, and you should continue studying, and you should study other views and other religions, so that there is a difference between studying and understanding. There is a difference between learning things, being a learned person and able person. So when you study, you should read not for belief, immediate belief, not to argue, not to create a subject of conversation, but to wait and consider what you read and compare with other things and become more able person and more acquire more understanding. And we as parents will support you in what you want to do. Thank you.
Now it's the fun time, not the Ashrei time, but the present time. And we'll get to the Ashrei and the concluding parts of the service in a second. I'd like to call up now Sarah Silverberg on behalf of the USY to come and present the gift.
Rabbi, I think I solved your problem. Shalom, y'all. On behalf of the Fort Worth USY chapter, I would like to present Seema on the day of her bat mitzvah a free year's membership in the USY. So we look forward to seeing you at all the events. Okay. Congratulations.
Sarah, the only problem with seeing her at the events is you're in St. Louis. Minor detail. Now it's now my honor and pleasure to invite our synagogue president, Dr. Nancy Fagan, to give and present the synagogue gifts.
Congratulations, you've done a beautiful job. First thing, this is your bat mitzvah certificate signed by the rabbi, the staffer, and myself. Okay? I'm going to put everything up here so you don't have to hang on to it. Jewish Book of Why from the Board of Directors. Chaim from the congregation. Zakabach from the Ladies Auxiliary. The World War Jewish veterans, the 2 books. The one thing that is not here is your candlesticks, which will be coming in later. In the envelope, this is your free 1-year Fuzi membership. What is this one? You know? Me neither. Let's see. Okay, we'll open it. Well, same thing. Okay? All right. Congratulations. You did a beautiful job.
Thank you very much. We now head to page 78 in the Siddur Sim Shalom and page 195 in the Shereth Siddur for the concluding parts of our service.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, אורי הללוך הסלם.
אשרי העם שכחנו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהי.
תהילה לדוד, עמים אלוהי המלך, ברוך שמך לעולם ועד.
לכל יום עבודתך, ולעולם שמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני המלן מאוד, וגדולתו עם חגל.
יולדו ישבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפשך עשיך.
ואת זכרתך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביאו, וצדקתך ימנינו.
חנן ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסדיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו.
ויודעים את אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני כל הנופלים, ותוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יספרו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם ואיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומזכיר לכל חי וסוף.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורא, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתה ישמע ויושיעם.
שומע אדוני את כל הרע, ואת כל שעים ישמיע.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. אנחנו נברך ידבר ועד עולם, הללויה.
למנצח משמאל לדוד ינחה. אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ביום קורנו, ובא ראשי אשר יעקב נאום אדוני, ונזעק תפילתו. ויפתחו בך יודעי שמך, כי לא עזב דורשך אדוני. אדוני חפץ ענתיקו יודע תורה וידיר.
Could you please rise page 82 and page 201?
יתפדה ויפקדה שמרבה, ועמד יברח יריתי וימיך מחותי בחייכון, ומכון ובחי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קרי וימרו.
Amen.
יש מרבה מבורך, לעם ולעמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלש ולקודשה. לעילה מכל בחטא ושירתה, משפחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן ועמה ואימרו. יתקבל תודה ותכון דכל ישראל, קרמה וכון בישמעיה ואימרו. יש למה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו. עושה שלום בהמה, יעשה שלום עלינו, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואימרו אמן. עלינו לשבח לדור הכל, לתת תפילה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגאי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, ולא שמנו תשתולת, וגאו עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי
Everyone please remain standing. I know we have one yard site for this morning. Are there any others? Mark has one. Any others? Mourner's Kaddish, while there's more, everyone else be seated. Mourner's Kaddish, while there's mourning or observing Yortzeit, can be found on page 84 or 207. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah b'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Omei Amaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitala L'Shemei D'Kudisha B'richu Le'la Min Kol Berachata V'shirata Tishbachata V'nechemata Damiran B'alma V'yimru Amen Yehi Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Aviva Arad to lead us in a psalm for what? And Ilana Siso thank you, to lead us. Excuse me? If we have Ilana and Aviva in the congregation, you're more than welcome to come up.
היום יום חמישי בשבת, שבו היו הלוויים אומרים בבית המקדש, למנצח על הגיתית לאסף.
הרנינו לאלוהים עוזנו, הריעו לאלוהי יעקב, שאו זמרה ותנו תוף, כינור נעים עם נבל.
תקראו בחודש שופר בכסל ליום חגנו, כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב, עדות ביוסף שמו. בצאתו על ארץ מצרים, שפת לא ידעתי אשמה.
הסירותי מסבל שכמו, כפיו מדוד תעבורנה. בשרה קראת וחלצך, הענך בסתר רעם, הבחנך על מי מריבה סלע.
שמע מי ועידה בך ישראל אם תשמע לי, לא יהיה בך אל זר ולא תשתחווה לאל נכר.
אנוכי אדוני אלוהיך, מעלך מארץ מצרים, הרחב פיך ואמלאהו.
ולא שמע מי לקולי וישראל לא אהבה לי, והשלחו בשרירות ליבם ילכו במועצותיהם. לא עמי שומע לישראל בדרכי יהלכו.
כמעט אויביהם אכניע ועל צריהם אשיב ידי, משנאי אדוני יכחשו לו ויהי איתם לעולם, ויאכילהו מחלב חיטה ומצור דבש אזביחה.
Before we go to the Mourner's Kaddish again, I'd like to welcome the cantor from Sherath, Schwepker, for coming this morning. We thank you. Last time we saw you, I think it was for a funeral. Rak b'smachot from now on, and thank you very much for honoring us by being here this morning. Mourner's Kaddish, once again, for all those mourning or observing your site, page 84. Yitkadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah B'alma Divrach Yirutei V'amlich Malchutei B'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'zman Kariv V'yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Omei Amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal l'shemei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. We are going to conclude with a Don Olam. I'd like to invite Abchaya and Yair, Leah and Yonatan to come lead us in a Don Olam. Afterwards, everyone is invited to the Kiddush in the other room. Mazal tov, everyone, and have a nice and enjoyable morning. Ben, thank you very much. Where'd you go? Where were you sitting? No, where were you sitting? Look here.
I like following them because I was sitting on like a road. Oh my god, Nathan took all mine and he threw them. It's okay. So then what's his name? So then Jesse Chaz took all them. So I got one. I got one.
There's more up here.
Wait, is this on?
Probably do it. Oh my god.
You look like the unicorn with it. The realtor from the house that we went to yesterday, no shade, Alan, and her husband, as our hair, I was thinking, I was like, well, I'm gonna try on the dress that Talia is wearing.
Yes. One more before her. That was longer than I thought it was going to be.
I know, so I'm going to get some.
Okay. Enjoy. תודה לך. הימור שימה.
כן.
מאיפה אתה? אתה גר בארץ? גרתי שם 5 שנים לפני שיצאנו. כן, באברהם גרנות, זה אחרי זה בארמון הנציב.
בגילו.
אז ברוכים הבאים.
תודה. Can you direct me?
I can.
Place in the gifts of prayers for the Brittany Lab besides just the Schnitt one?
I can get you. I don't know if it's in this book, but I can get you from my book, those prayers. Do you want them today?
I'm supposed to. Well, very, very strange.
So let's go back to my office. I have it there.
If you said it's supposed to be 7 o'clock tonight, you guys tell me. It's not bad. I mean, it's good.
Want candy?
No. Remember Michael?
Yes. All right. Yes, let's go.